central message of the play is that we are telling the audience about the precious non-violence resistance of the Tibetans. I would say, like, we are living in a world that is provoking violence every day, and we see a lot of violence that creates new violence, new hate, new pain, and the Tibetans inside Tibet are still trying to resist in a non-violent way the oppression of the Chinese government, and that I feel like if the world could learn, the world can learn from the Tibetans. If the world would be more non-violent, we would have a different world. I'm sure about that. So to understand that this is not just some people no one is caring about, the Tibetans are like an example for us with their non-violence resistance. And the main character in the play, or main figure, is like a nun called Deshar. Her father was a resistance fighter inside Tibet. He's full of hate against the Chinese government. He would love to fight, to resist in a different way. He's angry that the war, the resistance fight was stopped in the 70s. But she starts violent in the play. She's in a monastery, but the Chinese soldiers are coming to do re-education in the monastery. So there's a danger that the monastery will be closed. And so she's beating a Chinese soldier. So it starts with the violence of this nun. But during the play, she learns more and more that she has to get rid of her hate and think non-violent. So she, at one point after the monastery is destroyed, she decides to self-immolate, like to create a strong voice without being violent. And in the second half, then she survives. She's interrogated by the Chinese police, and in this, she is learning that she has to get rid of her hate and find a non-violent way to resist. And this has an impact also, like on one Chinese officer, a woman. So that it's a bit like an utopia also, that maybe also the Chinese learn and understand and try to behave different to the Tibetan community. So, but there's still like this, there's another Chinese officer, one of the main roles, Lhakpa plays him, Officer Deng, who is in a way, something happens to him, what is happening to millions of Tibetan people since years. And his reaction is revenge, hate, violence. So he has to learn a lot. Like many, the Tibetans are reacting on the oppression with non-violence. And this Chinese officer, something happens to him and his family, and his reaction is directly violence. So this is the huge difference. Also. So this is, for me, it's really like it's like a pamphlet for non-violence in the world, and this play from Abhishek.